What's up, everybody? Happy New Year and welcome back to the Barefoot Garage. It is January and it is time to get to work on some projects. All right, welcome back to the Barefoot Garage. If you've been following along, we moved back around Thanksgiving and it's been getting settled in the new shop, and it's not quite done yet, but we got a little bit of a ways to go, but it's time to get started on some projects. So we got a couple of things that are gonna get done quickly, and then we're gonna get to a couple of more long-term projects before we get to some of the fixing up of the shop and some of the other fun things we're gonna do. So still gonna see some 914 content, gonna see a little 944 content, and we're gonna get to that 411 and I'll explain to you guys what's happening, which is the subject of tonight's video. So here's what needs to happen. We need to move the 944 about 4 feet that way. So the 411 can go right here. Best part is the 914, the bikes stay over on their side. Get work done side, wait for your work to get done, or wait for your job side. So the other thing we picked up, which I'm very excited about, is this easy car lift. We got this on Marketplace for like half retail, and it'll lift like 4,400 pounds, which is killer. So like basically any car up to, you know, early small SUV, stuff like that. So won't lift the naughty truck, won't lift the Power Stroke, but it is gonna lift almost everything else we need. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna use this lift to lower the 944 down. I got 2 dollies and I'm gonna put a floor jack in the front. We're gonna jiggle and slide it that way. All the parts are here for this, so basically we're just a matter of work on it when we have time to work on it. The 411 is outside on the trailer, so we're gonna back up the trailer and try to drop it on the ramps and roll it down here with the winch. I can't roll it by myself because it's dirt out there and I just don't wanna do it. So let's see if we can get this car inside, and I'll show you what's gonna happen on the 411 and how we're gonna make a decision as to whether it's go or no go. All right, not too big a deal moving the 944, but we definitely need 2 more dollies. The floor jack is just useless compared to that on that kind of a rough, uneven floor. So we're back here on the 411. I've unstrapped it, we're about to take it inside, and here is what we need to look at. So I did a little bit of off-camera work and I threw on this carburetor, and here is the go, no go on this car. It's really not that rusty, but there's not a lot of them for sale, and it's really hard to tell what the value is. So without painting it and just kind of a cool old ratty Volkswagen, I think it's worth 5 or 6 grand. Probably not a lot more. So in order to make any money on this, if I have to rebuild the engine, we're out. So if I can get it to run, we keep it. If I can't get it to run, it goes for parts. So let's get it unloaded. All right, 1, 2, 3 cars in the garage, ready to be worked on. I gotta spool up the winch cable. That worked as easy as could be expected. Probably lift up the 411, get out of there, make sure we've got everything we need. I got a new distributor to put in for points. We're gonna try and just run this thing on a carburetor, and if we can make life out of it, then we'll do something. If we can't make life out of it, maybe one of you guys can do something with it. We got a bunch of parts that go with it, so if it does need to move down the road, I've got a headliner, I got front and rear window seals, We got a plan for seats. I'll fix the floor pan and make it ready for battery and stuff like that. So pack up the trailer and then we'll see if we can get this thing started. All right, we have the 411 in the garage, which is awesome. 411, 944, 914. Can you tell I'm happy to have a little bit more space? So the 411 has a Type 4 engine, 1.7, 1.8, something like that, smaller engine, but it's the same block and basic architecture as the 914 had, which is one of the reasons I grabbed this. I know this platform really well. The 1.7, 1.8s are a little different, but close enough. And so this motor had D-Jet, which I'm not gonna try to get running. Yes, that is the correct, pure way that this car would have been, but this is gonna be like a factory restoration. This is gonna be a cool cruiser. You put 4 fins in with 4-wheel doors and a Volkswagen and go right around. And so what we're gonna do is we are gonna switch to carburetor. I got a single progressive, and we're gonna switch to points ignition. You can see there's no distributor in there now. So I've pulled the majority of the D-Jet stuff out and just around, so we'll sell it or do something with it. So what we really need to do is get this thing hooked up to some fuel, either like a little gravity bottle. I do have a carburetor pump and regulator that I ran in the 914. So we may try to hook that up. But when I did it earlier, I did get good keyed power at the coil, but we weren't getting any sparks. So a buddy loaned me a distributor, just a basic Type 4 basic VW distributor. And so we're gonna pop that in here and see if we can get it to spark and just see if we can get it to spit. So it won't turn over on the key, but it does turn the ignition on. And so I've been using the power probe to just probe the starter underneath. That's like a pretty easy fix, put a starter button in, something, whatever. But I just want to hear it run. It doesn't rod knock, it doesn't have a dead hole or a blown wall in one of the cylinders or something like that. So it turns over fine. I can reach down on the fan belt and turn the motor over. So if I reach down here, you guys can see by hand I can get some rotation. So that's a good sign. It's got some compression. It doesn't just turn over freely. I pulled the plugs out, I checked them, cleaned them up, put some stuff on the cylinder. So I feel like if it turns over, we can get some spark, it'll run. It may smoke, but it'll run. And it's just gonna be kind of a cool cruiser. We're gonna like put an interior in it a little bit and make it where you could live with it and keep the outside kind of ratty looking and just, you know, cool old Volkswagen. So I am gonna put the new distributor in, and it's kind of a 2-man job. I can't both turn on the key, crank it with the power probe, and see if we get spark. So I'm gonna get as far as I can, and then when I get some assistance here, we'll get a little further in the VW. All right, so here's a quick lesson on these distributors. I'm not an expert, but I can show you. This is a distributor that came out. You can see it's vacuum advance. It still has points, but it is also has a set of trigger points on here for the D-Jet. This is a totally mechanical advance, no vacuum, what they call a 009 distributor. So you can see just your regular old Volkswagen distributor, but they key in to the car in the same fashion. So it has this offset pin. You can see there's really only one way to go, not two, because it is offset. And so we're gonna check that the shaft length is the same, which eyeball looks like it is. And then this guy's gonna go in, see if we can make some spark. All right, so pretty quick install there. I based the position based on where this cap and these wires ran. It's been there a long time, and that's where the timing was according to the notch on the cap. The cap only fits one way. There's a notch on this side. And so we went ahead and popped that in there. This is pretty temporary. I got like a couple bolts on each side. I do have the plugs in there and everything is working. I think I want to make this throttle work eventually here. It's got a electronic choke that is kind of a pain, and honestly we may end up just disabling that because the linkage doesn't seem to want to run totally progressively. So this cable is totally seized. We can fix that, no big deal. So if it'll run, we'll be in good shape. It does appear that this carburetor has been apart. There's some new gaskets. I don't really know why. The throttle linkage isn't working. I can't do it with, let's see if we can do it with one hand here. Yeah, works fine when the choke is all the way off. So basically it's just preventing you from going straight wide open throttle when the choke is on. When you hold the choke down, you can go maximum everything. So that's what we're working with here. I am going to show you what we got to do with the battery area. You can see I've hooked up some temporary cables over my temporary floor repair, which is a piece of wood. So I can throw the battery in there and we can see what happens, but interior is needing a little bit of love, but really once we get this floor in the hole in the floor fixed, this is all going to get covered up by carpet anyway. So got the old school fuses still in there, and overall really not in too bad a shape, so I do hope it is one that we can save. So we're gonna go ahead and get set up here with a way to turn this over, battery, spark, something like that. I may go ahead and put it on the Easy Jack and lift it up so we can see what that looks like. And it's just easier than having to get out of the car when it's not lifted in the air. So a couple minutes to do that, and then we'll see if we can crank it over. All right, so cool tip. You can use this Easy Jack either direction. The runners are like this, and it was too wide for the car. You get different widths depending on what you get. This is just what I ended up with. And you can change those, but it's like a couple $100. But for this, I just put a 4x4 block in there, start hitting it with the drill, and it starts going up. So the runners are like that. I am super happy with it so far, and definitely something to check out. No electrical hookups. It's totally mobile. It's on casters, so when I'm done and I want to use the 944, I just zip it down, roll it across, lift the 944. Super easy, super portable. We can literally put it in my truck and take it to an event if we wanted to. So I'm going to be able to get into the car and be able to get to that starter. Starter works fine, turns over fine, but we're going to try and see if we can get a little spark out of this thing. All right, I can get turn it over. It's got voltage, maybe not full 12 volts. I have gasoline. So I'm putting a little gasoline in it, turn the key on and see what happens. No promises. I have not ever gotten this started before, so if it starts, you'll see me be very happy. I don't have any way to control the throttle, so I'm just gonna do what I can do. The choke is going full choke. That should definitely be enough gasoline to start a fire. All right, fire the hole. All right, I'm gonna try a shot of starting fluid, but I don't think we have enough cranking speed and it may not be quite right there, but turns over fine. You gotta remember, this is an automatic, not a clutchless. This is like a true automatic, put it in drive, drive away. So it's got a torque converter and a bell housing I've never seen before. It's very unusual, but hopefully that doesn't mean it takes a weird starter in case we need to put something on and turn a little bit faster. So let's give it a quick shot and see if that'll do anything different. All right, failure for now. I'm gonna call in a little bit more air-cooled expertise and hopefully somebody that can maybe work the throttle and shoot the juice while I'm trying to turn it over. Also, the wiring to the battery could be junk, so we may end up bypassing that or hot wiring that or something like that. So it's turning over fine, but not great. And so we're gonna pause there for tonight and we'll pick it back up again tomorrow. Come on, old car. Ready?
No. Go for it.
All right, so not success, not failure, really. We got some weak spark. We think the timing is wrong, but it turns over and it seems to have great compression. So I'm gonna keep at it. We're gonna get a set of plug wires that are not ancient and rock hard, and we're gonna try to get the timing set, and we're gonna keep on the 411. So fingers crossed, there's life in it. It's such a weird, unusual Volkswagen. I really do wanna save it, but I also don't want it to cost me a bunch of money. So we're going to keep on the 411 in the next couple of weeks here. So as always, stay tuned to the Barefoot Garage right here on YouTube. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think we ought to do with the 411 or if you want to buy it. And follow us between episodes at Barefoot Garage Jacks over on Instagram. See you guys.